I get more blowback on being gay in Overwatch than I do locally.
Hey guys, Cody Smith here, Set Life Productions, here for another episode of The New Normal, here with Shaboy, Duke Stamina. Duke, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing quite splendid. How about you, Cody?
I'm doing fantastic. So this is going to be episode 4, and for everybody who's been skipping around the shows, I just want to reiterate what the show is about real quick, if you'll indulge me.
Oh, I'd like to know.
Yeah. So you, Duke Stamina, can know what we're doing. This entire show, the concept is just, I want to talk to people who don't look like me or function like me in society because I am very cis-passing. I'm in a straight relationship. If somebody sees me on the street, I'm not going to get this shit kicked out of me for being queer or black or fat.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm about that life.
So you are queer, correct?
I am gay as the day is long.
So about 12 hours.
I'm 12 hours of gay, and then I'm gay as the night is long as well.
Absolutely.
So that's double gay, by the way, for those counting.
So with the term queer, it tends to be pretty loaded, but in your own eyes and your own definition, what does queer mean to you?
Well, I just like where like the origins of like the queer punk movement and stuff like that, where it was like, you know, it's, you have the gay scene and then you have the queer scene, and I always equated it more to like a punk rock culture where it's just like, you know, if you are strange and weird and you don't fit in your typical scene, like, we are here for you. And it was one of those things where it's like, it you know, originally it was this like derogatory term because, you know, those weirdos, but at the same time, dude, me and all my friends are weirdos and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with claiming it. And it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, I personally don't find myself like fitting in perfectly with the normal gay scene anyways. Not that I have any problems with it. Well, outside of like some random issues just with it as a whole, but like, I don't know. I never really fit in much with it. So, you know, I always kind of associated more like with this kind of like queer fringe culture kind of deal-y thing. Did I answer the question?
Oh, you absolutely did.
Woo!
You get labeled queer rap a lot, either on Instagram, SoundCloud. How does the label queer rap differ from regular rap? I mean, personally, I know Danny Brown is like a huge influence from you. So hearing him go off and talk about like some hardcore sex acts versus you talking about some hardcore sex acts doesn't really have much difference in the act of penetration besides who's on
it's going in. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I label myself as a queer rap artist. Just I've always been, you know, I don't mind labels, and it's one of those things where it's just like growing up. Like I love the fact that music is split into all these different genres. Like it's way easier for me to be like, oh, I'm probably gonna like this band because they are a post thrash, you know, grind whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I know what you're talking about there. And that's one of those things for me where it's just like, you know, I label myself as a queer rap artist because, you know, it's one of those things, at least for me, like it explains the kind of music that I'm making. And it's like, I don't call myself queer hip hop. Like I'm a queer rap artist. It is like, it is not like me talking about, you know, the problems of my community all the time. I've got some new upcoming stuff that I'm like really proud of, but it's still like all my beats, they're not like hip hop beats. It is like trappy, like rap style beats. But that's like what I'm into. I like that loud, I like bangers, man.
Hell yeah. Given that Lee County is what it is, a county named after a Civil War general, has there been any real blowback you felt when you're like trying to go out and play at Rackham's or anywhere else?
Well, you might know, like, I don't really play out a whole bunch. The past year I've spent just like working on getting my material recorded and I don't know, trying to get like a music video done up, and I've been in talks with a label and stuff like that. So it's not, I've declined more shows than I've actually played. So, I mean, it's not, being a queer rap artist is hard to get put on shows because 9 times out of 10, I'm too gay for the rap scene, or I am too out there for the gay scene. You know, and there's a gray area in the middle of people who are like, oh, I get this. This is awesome. But I don't know. I mean, there is some blatant homophobia in the area, but luckily I don't deal much with it. And I'm guessing that is because for some reason people consider me more like straight passing, I guess. And I don't know, it sucks that it exists and it's out there. And, you know, I'm not as worried about playing the local area as much because I'm one of those people where it's like, I don't want to oversaturate, especially home. Like, you know, I'd like to make it a big deal if I go out and play, you know? So, but yeah, it is hard to find gigs because I've been trying to find some stuff up in Orlando and Miami, just like putting feelers and stuff out there, but just, it's always hard finding gigs outside of the city that you live in. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't get much pushback for it. I've honestly gotten more pushback for like having inverted crosses on my hat and stuff like that before. But being a queer rap artist, like, at least here, I haven't had much of a, like, I think people are going to push back on my musical content more for the fact that I'm saying like some really like vile things sometimes, more than I'm saying something that is very gay, you know?
That's honestly some really good perspective. So, and genuinely, thank you for that.
Yeah.
With the amount of camp inherent in your act, like you were talking about, you're getting more pushback from the inverted crosses, or just like, we want to keep the YouTube video monetized. So
Yeah.
the level of depravity you're talking about in your performance,
Yes.
has there been any crossover between not so much the blowback, but like the experience of Duke's Stamina versus Spencer Ellis? Has there been any crossover where people are coming up to you and being like, hey, you want to play some jump rope real quick? I'm going to reference that line.
The only person that's ever given me that is you, Cody. So it's no, honestly, not really. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious the second that I get on stage that I am I 180 as a person, and I like doing that. Like, if most people meet me, they know that I don't know. I like to think that I'm like a pretty, like, I'm a very bubbly, sweet person, I think, normally, unless it's the morning or I'm not on my meds. But like, the second that I get on stage, it's just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you suck, eat my ass, but keep watching. And if you don't want to watch, fuck you, go home, die mad about it. Like, and that's always been something that's like, I don't know, it's always very playful, and it's never like directed at anyone outside of being directed at everyone. So no, most people know that the second that I get off stage, it's like the act ends, you know?
Talking about this disconnect between you and your character, the term that really comes to my mind is camp, but for those not familiar with it, how would you describe camp in either your own terms or how you feel it relates to your act? If you feel it relates to your act.
I don't know if it relates as much to my act. I feel like it's, for me, I've just got like a stage persona that I put on. Like, I would consider camp like, I think, so you hear it a lot when people are talking about like drag queens and stuff like that. But I think everything has a camp. Like, if you listen to metal a whole bunch, like, metal is super campy. And I love a lot of the like dragons and wizards and fucking evil Satan shit that metal has. It has its own camp, you know, this campiness that comes along with it. And you either get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to like it. And I think that, so yeah, I guess it does relate with, I don't know, with my music and stuff, because a lot of gay camp is just this really in your face, like, God, I was watching a like YouTube streamer or something like that the other day who was like talking about how he made like 10 million bells in one day in the new Animal Crossing, but his name was Bussy Queen. and it's just like, so it started and I was like, and he's got this like, you know, very like effeminate nature to him and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool, like a gay streamer. And then it's just like, it's your girl, Bussy Queen. And I'm just like, yes.
To please enlighten our viewers, what is a bussy?
Oh, that, well, if December can censor this, it's a.
It's really interesting to me, like, how you personally view camp, because to me, like, the epitome of camp is always going to be like the Adam West Batman, not necessarily as like drag queen camp, but just like that almost B movie, like you were talking about with metal, like just over the top cheap. I consider the Dragons stuff to be cheesy, but like I like cheesiness in my music. I like it in my art.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it comes from like camp being campy. Like, it's like that, the campy, cheesy. It's like it's all saying the same thing. But it's one of those things where some people, if they don't get that, like, holy guacamole, Batman, like this, like very silly superhero talk, like they're not gonna like it, you know.
Well, Spencer, thank you so much for your time. Where can we find you online? And more importantly, when is that album dropping? Everybody, once Duke gives you his info, spam him to drop the album. Please and thank you.
So that isn't going to help. Right now, I'm about to release my first single from it. The song should be up and online hopefully by the end of this month. I'm in the talks with a magazine called Ghetto Blaster magazine that's going to be releasing my first single, Gay Poc, and then we will soon after that be releasing the music video. And yeah, I'm really stoked on it. We're going to be kind of trickling out the first few tracks of the album as singles, but Super Horse Dads 2 Turbo Tournament Edition original soundtrack should be hitting y'all's ears by the end of this year as a completed thing.
I cannot wait. And Facebook, Instagram.
Yep, Duke Stamina. You can find me everywhere at Duke Stamina. I don't have a Just for Fans page, but I should. And then I also have a Patreon that I'm going to start promoting at some point soon. And I'm also changing all the price tiers to it just being $2. Because your boy needs like $2 a month. Just give me like $2, baby.
Absolutely.
I'm right here.
And in case December wants to take this as like a lead-in for this Patreon, patreon.com/SetLifePro. We have multiple tiers. Get early access to all of our content. Once we get through with this season, we're going to be going through with the Set Life Pro podcast, and you're going to get early access to that.
Nice.
You're going to get access to all of our shows, all of our zines, patreon.com/SetLifePro. This has been Cody, Set Life, and Duke Stamina. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.